Welcome to today's Sunday School lesson for March 26, 2023. The title of this lesson is Jesus Overpowers Legion. The scripture text for this lesson is Mark chapter 5, verses 1 through 13 and verses 18 through 20. Beginning with verse 1.
Chapter 5. Jesus heals a demon-possessed man. So they arrived at the other side of the lake, in the region of the Gerasenes. When Jesus climbed out of the boat, a man possessed by an evil spirit came out from a cemetery to meet him. This man lived among the burial caves and could no longer be restrained, even with a chain. Whenever he was put into chains and shackles, as he often was, he snapped the chains from his wrists and smashed the shackles. No one was strong enough to subdue him. Day and night he wandered among the burial caves and in the hills, howling and cutting himself with sharp stones. When Jesus was still some distance away, the man saw him, ran to meet him, and bowed low before him. With a shriek he screamed,
"Why are you interfering with me, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? In the name of God, I beg you, don't torture me!"
For Jesus had already said to the spirit, "Come out of the man, you evil spirit." Then Jesus demanded, "What is your name?"
Although we cannot be sure why demon possession occurs, we know that evil spirits can use the human body to distort and destroy people's relationships with God and likeness to Him. Even today, demons are dangerous, powerful, and destructive. While it is important to recognize their evil activity, we should avoid any curiosity about the involvement with the demonic forces or the occult. Deuteronomy 18:10 through 12. If we resist the devil and his influences, he will flee from us. James 4:7. The demon screamed at Jesus, "Why are you interfering with me?" It was a shriek of fear, defense, and rebellion against God. No one today would like to admit to being demon-possessed, but most of our society, like the demon, is screaming at God, the church, and Christian values. Why are you interfering with me? Get out of my life. When people reject Jesus Christ and His authority, they put themselves on the side of the demons and are heading in the same direction. Every person must ask, will I choose autonomy and self-will leading to destruction? Or will I choose Christ's loving leadership over my life, giving me forgiveness, healing from sin, cleansing, and true freedom? The answer has eternal implications. The evil spirit said its name was Legion. A legion was the largest unit of the Roman army, consisting of 3,000 to 6,000 soldiers. This man was possessed by many demons. Continuing with verse 10.
And he replied,
"My name is Legion, because there are many of us inside this man."
Then the evil spirits begged him again and again not to send them to some distant place. There happened to be a large herd of pigs feeding on the hillside nearby.
"Send us into those pigs,"
the spirits begged.
"Let us enter them."
So Jesus gave them permission. The evil spirits came out of the man and entered the pigs, and the entire herd of 2,000 pigs plunged down the steep hillside into the lake and drowned in the water.
Mark often highlights the supernatural struggles between Jesus and Satan. The demons' goal was to control the humans they inhabited. Jesus' goal was to give people freedom from sin and Satan's control. The demons knew they had no power over Jesus, so they simply begged not to be sent to some distant place, the bottomless pit in Luke 8:31. Jesus granted their request to enter into the herd of pigs, 5:13, but ended their destructive work in people. Perhaps Jesus let the demons destroy the pigs to demonstrate His own superiority over a very powerful yet destructive force. He could have sent them to hell, but He did not, because the time for judgment had not come yet. In the end, the devil and all his demons will be sent into the eternal fire. Matthew 25:41. According to the Old Testament law, Leviticus 11:7, pigs were unclean animals. This meant that they could not be eaten or even touched by a Jew. This incident took place southeast of the Sea of Galilee in the region of the Gerasenes, a Gentile region, which explains how a herd of pigs could be involved. Jesus allowed the demons to enter the pig, and they ran down a hill and into the river.
Then those who had seen what happened told the others about the demon-possessed man and the pigs, and the crowd began pleading with Jesus to go away and leave them alone. As Jesus was getting into the boat, the man who had been demon-possessed begged to go with him. But Jesus said, "No, go home to your family and tell them everything the Lord has done for you and how merciful he has been." So the man started off to visit the 10 towns of that region and began to proclaim the great things Jesus had done for him, and everyone was amazed at what he told them.
After such a wonderful miracle of saving a man's life, why did the people want Jesus to leave? They were undoubtedly afraid of his supernatural power. They may have also feared that Jesus would continue to destroy their pigs, their livelihood. They would rather give up Jesus than lose their source of income and security. Jesus told this man to tell his friends about the miraculous healing. Most of the time, Jesus urged those he healed to keep quiet. Why the difference? 1. The demon-possessed man had been alone and unable to speak. Telling others what Jesus did for him would prove that he was healed. 2. This was mainly a Gentile and pagan area, so Jesus was not expecting great crowds to follow him or religious leaders to hinder him. 3. By sending the man away with the good news, Jesus was expanding his ministry to people who were not Jews. This man had been demon-possessed but became a living example of Jesus' power. He wanted to go with Jesus, but Jesus told him to go home and share his story with his friends. If you have experienced Jesus' power in your life, are you, like this man, enthusiastically sharing the good news with those around you? Just as we would tell others about a doctor who cured a physical disease, we should tell about Christ who cures our sin. These 10 towns were located southeast of the Sea of Galilee. 10 cities, each with its own independent government, formed an alliance for protection and for increased trade opportunities. These cities had been settled several centuries earlier by Greek traders and immigrants. Although Jews also lived in the area, they were not in the majority. Many people from the 10 towns followed Jesus. Matthew 4:25. And he departed and began to publish in the Decapolis how great things Jesus had done for him, and all men did marvel. Later in Mark's Gospel, Jesus would perform another miracle there, Mark 7:31 through 37. In Matthew's Gospel, the Decapolis was named as evidence that Jesus' reputation was spreading among Gentiles. This man gave thanks by obeying Jesus and letting others know what great things Jesus had done for him. Mark 5:19. The cities of the Decapolis included Damascus, famous as a city where Saul, later Paul, regained his sight and became a follower of this way. Acts 9:1, 1 through 20. And Philadelphia, one of the cities to receive a letter as described in John's vision. Revelation 3, 7 through 13. Who knows how the former demoniac prepared the way for the gospel? We too have been delivered by Jesus, and like the former demoniac, we have stepped out of a life that was more like death. Ephesians 2, 1 through 10, Colossians 2, 13 through 15. We too are called to share the story of what Jesus has done for us, to prepare our own communities to meet Christ and come to a new life. Matthew 28:18 through 20. No matter the legions aligned against us, Jesus is in control. All we have to do is place our faith in Him with joy and obedience. This concludes the Sunday School lesson. Don't forget to like the video, comment, and share.